So yesterday I had a pretty interesting conversation with one of the most impactful and influential leaders in the industry, and we were talking about how difficult it is sometimes to find new companies, especially that are really truly committed to the long term. And it prompted me to share some insight and perspective that I hope you find helpful. Now, many people know that if you're fortunate enough to find a new company in direct sales, a company before it goes into momentum, that is actually the pinnacle of earning opportunity in the industry. It's an extraordinary time. It doesn't happen to every company, but it does happen to some, and it will continue to happen to companies as we move into the future. And so I get the business reason and I get the motivation to find companies that are these unique jewels of opportunities. But it's very difficult to find those companies that are really committed to that long-term, long-term impact, long-term financial viability, long-term success. And one thing that I find useful that I'd like to share is the motive matters. The motive of money matters. And what I mean is, if you look at the money behind a company and why it's there. So ask yourself a question. If you're evaluating this company or any other company, you start with a very basic question that I think few people ask. Why is the company really in existence in the first place? And what you're going to find, it's not going to be the Apple story, right? It's not going to be that somebody, passionate about something, invented something, and then found a way to take it to the world to change the world, right? It's going to be something quite different. It's going to be a bunch of business people that understand the tremendous earning potential in direct sales, that then look around to see what's hot and what's trending, and then they decide to do their version of that. Or it's going to be some people at the top of companies, either on the corporate side or in the field, that look around and think, you know what, we can do this ourselves. And they go out and then they look at what's hot and what's trending, and they find what products they can represent in this industry, and they build a company around it. And you can largely tell these companies by how they talk about the companies. When you get introduced to these companies, largely what they talk about is the earning potential, the compensation plan, the people involved, the mission to be the next billion-dollar company or the fastest growing company, or all these type of things. And there's nothing wrong with any of that, but that's quite in contrast to the origins of New Earth. And if you don't know this, I think this might be helpful in evaluating this company. Many, many years ago, an almost billion-dollar enterprise, one that was diversifying its portfolio of companies that they invested in and owned, included this a little small life science company for financial and investment purposes. But over the course of years, largely by accident, and that's a great story to hear, I won't take the time to tell it all now, but they came to realize, the owners of this family, this almost billion-dollar enterprise, realized that they had been themselves raising themselves and their families on the product of this little life science company. And this was a family that is full of a lot of very medically astute people, doctors and people that are into health and longevity and holistic living. And over the course of some years, they realized that they actually had gotten to the point where they were raising their kids on the product of this little unknown life science company. So they sent one of their family members on a mission to go get to know this company and understand what it was about. Long story short, once they realized what this company was about, they basically took it over. And then for the next handful of years, they put an enormous amount of resource and expertise into the company to enhance it. Now, by enhance it, I mean make that product that they found to be so impactful better. Now, this company were manufacturing experts. They had global experience in manufacturing processes, and that's kind of was at the core of their global wealth. So what they brought in was this. They basically brought in the ability for them to take over the manufacturing of this product, own the process, and really invest in making this product better. And along the way, they realized that this company was actually in the direct sales industry, and they got to know a little bit about what that industry was all about. And they realized that not only could they make the product and the company better and lasting and impactful, they could enhance the ability for other entrepreneurs to represent this effort. So that was the genesis of what is now New Earth. And I think the motive behind the money matters. In fact, Now that I've known the leadership and ownership of this company for almost 3 years running, they summarize their intent with this company, that family, the group, the money behind the business. They summarize their intent of this company in a single word: legacy. They want to build a legacy. They want to build something that has an impact on this planet that they leave behind as generations. I think what comes out of that intention and focus and effort is quite different than what's going to come out of the origin of a lot of these other new companies that you see in being created, especially in the last 5 years. And I think motive behind the money matters. So when you look at this company, I invite you to peel the onion, to understand that this is an extraordinary opportunity to be involved with on the product side. I don't know that there's another company out there in the industry or out of the industry that has more intent, focus, and resources and intention and strategy around making this a long-term viable product. Now, you're getting this before the marketers out there even know what's going on with this company, because they've never had that focus. Nobody really knows what this company is about. So if you understand the power of being involved in a company in direct sales before it goes through momentum, then you should be compelled at a minimum to take a deep look at what this company has going for it. This new product that they just launched just a couple of months ago that people are raving about because they can feel the effect of it, in some cases in just a couple of hours or less, and it's not a stimulant, and it's all actually just based around food. That's phenomenal. That's something that almost never shows up in the industry. So I invite you, I dare you to try the product and to take a look at that. So I thought I wanted to share that perspective with you, because motive does matter, and I think that's one of the things that's going to separate this company from the rest of from the field. Now, if you have the question, well, why do we feel that this company has a good chance of going through momentum? I think when you try the product, see the products, hear what's going on with product testimonials, all of that stuff, in many cases from people that aren't even building the business side of this, I think that's going to intrigue you. But when you understand that the whole food, the natural food markets are growing at twice the rate of diet supplements and vitamin supplements, the whole food industry is growing at twice the rate of the vitamin industry and the diet industry, I think you realize that there's some market conditions that have come together in the last handful of years that make a company like New Earth, with all of their certifications and third-party validations that they are organic and whole food based and NSF certification, paleo, organic, all these different things that separate us from the rest of the field. I think just on market conditions alone, the gravity is going to pull this company towards momentum. And when the marketers get turned on to what this company is about, it should explode. Hopefully that insight gave you something to think about, and I hope that you take time to peel the onion here, and I double dare you to try the product and then make your decision on what type of chance you think this company has of being a pretty massive success.